So students, now we will be learning the functions and applications of WaterGem software using the quick start lessons which are given in WaterGem software itself. So we will be beginning with the lesson 1, which shows how to build a network in WaterGems and perform steady state analysis. So I will be showing you step by step how to achieve the desired results. So I am referring here to the quick start lessons as I already told. So let us begin. Now this is the WaterGem software. So we will create a new project by clicking on new. So now WaterGems is opening a new creating a new project, as you can see. After the project has been created, you will see a drawing space in front of you and some symbols here and some tools here. So we will learn the application of the required tools side by side when we carry out the different steps. So to begin with, first we need to check some settings of WaterGems. So for that, first of all, go to tools and then options. So this dialog box will appear. Here go to the units tab. So as you can see, the units which have been selected are SI units, which is and we require always SI units to work on our different elements. So if by chance in some of your PCs, if this is US customary, so you just need to reset the defaults to SI and it will automatically do that. So these are the how to check the units. Now go to the other tab, that is drawing tab. Here we will scale our drawing. So this means that the 1 centimeter drawn represents how much meter in reality. So in the quick start lesson, as per the quick start lesson, I have taken the plot scale factor to 1 centimeter is equal to 40 meter. Then I will click OK. Now we go to the file and project properties. So give a title to the project. So I am giving it lesson 1 and I will write my name. You can assign any title. Now go to file, save as, and save this file wherever you want to in your PC. So for that I'm saving in this folder. So you can rename again your file to whatever you desire. So now you can see the file has been renamed. Now let us begin with the process. So first of all, let me show you what we want to draw. So this is the layout plan of a particular area where this is some colony. Here is the commercial building, a commercial building here, residential buildings here, shopping center here, and this layout is being marked in red, is shown in red here. So this is the beginning point of the plan, as here is the reservoir, then we have a pump here, then different pipes, and the circles, black circles are representing the different junctions. Now and this is a tank here, so we have to draw this particular model in WaterGems and we will get this result. So this is the modeled, this plan is modeled like this in WaterGems, so we have to draw this. So what we will do, we will start with the reservoir. Okay, so we will draw all these hydraulic elements in WaterGems. So for this there are two ways. First of all, you can go to tools, then layout, then you can select any of the hydraulic element which you want to put in the model. Like for example, if I want to put reservoir, just click on it and click on the drawing space, it will automatically create a reservoir. Another shortcut for this is, if you can see this vertical bar present in WaterGems, click on this second. First is the cursor tab, second is pipe tab. Click on this and you can see when you go to the drawing space this cursor appears. So now first of all we want to make the reservoir. So click right click here on the drawing space and click that reservoir and put it by clicking on the drawing space. So this is the reservoir, and note here that different hydraulic elements are represented by different symbols. So this symbol is for reservoir. Now the next we have to draw pump. This is the pump. So what we will do is, this is the pipe will automatically be created when we between any two hydraulic elements. So right click and create and select pump, as this next element is pump and pipe. So this is a pipe, this is reservoir, and this is pump. Then after pump we have our first junction, then second junction, third junction, and fourth junction. So right click and select junction. So whenever you want to change the hydraulic element, just right click and select the element you want to put. So I have selected junction. So this is junction 1. Now we have to again draw junction, so I don't need to select it again as it has already been selected. Okay, it will continue as junction. Now junction 2, junction 3, and junction 4, and then I will close it here at junction 1. So now you don't want to create another point here, as there is, you can see there is nothing below after the J1. So what you will do is, when you want to close this, right click and done. So this is one part of your model. Now what we will do is, we will create first junction 5, which is after J3, then we will create junction 6. Before junction 6 we have a pressure regulating valve, and before that we have junction 4. From junction 4 we will draw first the valve and then junction 6, and from junction 3 we will draw the tank. And you can see our WaterGem is automatically changing the numbers of these junction, like J1, J2, J3, J4, P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6. Okay, so now I want to draw junction 3. So again I will select this pipe and junction, and this junction is after J3, so select J3 and put junction here, and after that there is no other element, so you can right click and click done. Now we will make J6 here. Before that we have a pressure regulating valve, so right click and select PRV. This is PRV and it is after J4, so select J4 and click here PRV. After PRV we have again junction, so right click and select junction and J6. After that right click and done. And now we are left with only the tank, so right click tank, and tank is after junction 3. So now let us compare both these plans. So R1, P1, pump 1, P2, J1, J2, J3, J4, and here we have J6, P9, PRV. So you can compare. Our diagram is completely same as our what we intended to draw. So this is the model of your layout plan in WaterGems. Now we have created the different parts of the layout plan. Now we will assign the property to each one of them, because without that they will not function like actually in a water distribution network. So we will input the different parameters required for these different hydraulic tanks hydraulic elements one by one, as per our site condition, as per the locality in which this distribution network is present or is to be provided. So for that, first of all we will enter the data input data for the reservoir. So for reservoir, the main thing which we want to input is its elevation. So for that, how we will do that is double click on the reservoir, and you will see a dialog box showing properties of a reservoir. So in that we will input its elevation, which is given as 198 meter in your lesson. So you can obviously the elevation can vary according to the different side conditions. So here you will put the elevation of your reservoir. Next thing which we want to change is the zone. So for that, you can see here zone is written as none. So click on this arrow and go to edit zones. Now create a new zone, because there is no zone present here, so you will have to create a new zone, and automatically a zone is created. Close. So now select the zone 1 which you have created. Okay, so this is the property of R1. So if you double click it again, the elevation is 198 and zone is zone 1. Now I will assign the properties to tank. So these are the different properties of tank. So we will change first its elevation and then other. So the base elevation is 200. The minimum elevation is 220, that is the minimum elevation of water in the tank. Initial 225 and maximum 226. So these are all the elevation. Now we will select the zone. So zone 1, we have already defined zone 1. Then enter the diameter. Then first choose the section of tank. I have chosen as circular. Diameter is 8 meter, which is given in the lesson. So these are the different properties of your tank. Now we will move to pump. Okay, so select, this is the pump. Now for pump, first of all we will input its elevation, which is given as 193 meter. Now go to pump definition. So pump definition, go to this arrow and edit pump definition. So what does this mean is you will have to define your pump, that is when the pump will start operating, when it will start what will the design parameter for that pump, what is the maximum operating function of this pump. So first of all select pump definition type as standard 3 point. Okay, then right click. So these are the different values which you have to input. So before that, as you can see, the flow here is given in units is liter per second. So if you want to change these units, go right click the flow, go to units and formatting, and you can change the units. So the unit is, we want to change it to liter per minute. Okay, so now as you can see, the units have been changed to liter per minute. So now we will input the value of shut off. So the pump will shut off when the flow is 0 and its head is 30 meter. Okay, the design flow required for the pump is 3800 liter per minute and head is 27.4, and the maximum operating is 7500, which is the maximum limit for the pump, and its head is 24.8. So as you must have observed, when we entered these values, these graphs have been automatically drawn by WaterGems. So this is the pump definition. Now you can change it to any other name. You can change the name of pump definition to so I will change it to pump 1, because name of our pump is pump 1. So this is used when there are a lot of many pumps in your network, so you can assign different pump definitions and rename them. Okay, now close this, and make sure that when you close it, then pump definition will be again showing none, so you will have to select the definition which you just created. So select pump 1. So this is the definition of your pump 1. So now we will move on to the next hydraulic element, that is pressure regulating valve. In pressure regulating valve, just check that its initial status is active, its setting type is pressure, and pressure setting, initial pressure setting is to be defined. So here it is given as 390 kilopascal. So as you can see, its units are in kilopascal. Its elevation is 165 meter and its diameter valve is 150 mm. So basically this diameter valve depends on the diameter of the pipe. Okay, so this is how the PRV is defined. And another thing, you will have to create another zone here, zone 2. Okay, so select zone 2. So this is how we define the properties of the valve. Now we have assigned the properties to reservoir and your tank, your pump and the PRV. Now we will move on to the next, that are the junctions. So for junctions we need to provide two inputs, that is its elevation and its demand. So we will do that individually. So similarly, as in the previous classes, double click the joint junction 1 and we will write this elevation value, which is given as 184 meter, and we will define its zone 1, right? Then we will assign the demand for this particular junction. So junction is basically representing a group of pipes from of which have a particular demand. So the pipes will then supply the water to meet that particular demand. So for that, go to this demand collection and click on this ellipsis, and here you have as you can see, the demand table is given. So here the units are liter per second, so we will change it to liter per minute by right click and go to unit cell formatting and change the unit to liter per minute. Okay, so now we can write the input in liter per minute, which is 38. So this particular joint has the demand of 38 liter per minute, right? And the pattern is fixed. So fixed means that there is no change in demand, so throughout the day and every time the demand is fixed. So this is, as we are doing the lesson number 1 right now, so we will be keeping it fixed only. So this is the demand, okay, which is 38. Now similarly we will do it for all the joints. So I will do it one by one. Junction 2, elevation 185, zone 1, demand is 31, pattern fixed. Junction 3, elevation 184, zone 1 and demand 34 liter per minute. Junction 4 has elevation 183, zone 1 and demand 38. Junction 5, 185.5 is the elevation. Zone 1, demand is 350 liter per minute. And for the junction 6, the elevation is 165, but zone is zone number 2. We have already defined the same for PRV also. Next, the demand is 356. So now we have assigned all these values to all the junctions, so we can see it in the form of table also. So for that, click here, this is flex tables, and go to the junction table. So you can see here that whatever we inputted, that is the elevation, the zone and the demand. Okay, so if you click on it, the demand collection will open. So all these demands we have assigned, so we can see it in the flex table also. You can assign these value directly from the flex table also initially. Now we will move on to the last component, which is the different pipes. So when we initially have drawn the pipes, we have not followed any particular scale, we have just drawn it randomly. So it depends that whether your particular pipe has a particular length value or not. So if I double click on this pipe, you will say here that the pipe is the length of the pipe is given as length scaled is 81 meter. So how it has, the Watergems has automatically calculated this value, which is 81, because in the first step we had assigned a particular scale to this drawing, which was that 1 meter is equal to 1 centimeter is equal to 40 meter. So based on how long we have drawn the pipe, it has automatically calculated its length to be 81 meter. Okay, but if you have a particular user defined length value, then you will have to change it. So for that, what we do is, has your pipe user defined length? So if you have already, there is a value given to you, then you will keep it true, and now it will change to length user defined. Earlier it was length scaled, now it will be length user defined. So the user defined length is in meter, so it is 0.01 meter. Okay, for this pipe. Now you can see it is 0 because we will have to change the decimal points here. So right click and go to units and formatting and display precision to 2, that is up to 2 decimal places it will show the result. Now 0.01. So this is the pipe 1, and the diameter for this pipe is given 1000 mm. Okay, so 1000 mm, 1 meter diameter is too large, but here for this particular pipe, as the length is very less, we have to assign a large diameter to prevent losses. Okay, so this is pipe 1. Now similarly for pipe number 7, the user defined length is 400 mm, means 0.4 meter. For pipe number 8, user defined length 0.5. So its length is given as 31 meter, so 0.031. And for pipe number 10, the length is 100 meter, so 0.1. So these are all the user defined length for your, sorry, this is 100 meter, okay. And the pipe number 9 was also 31 meters, sorry for this, actually the units are in meter only, so 31 meter and 100 meter. So these are all the pipe user defined lengths. Now we will again open the flex tables and go to the pipe table. Now here you can see the scaled lengths and have been given. So these are the scaled lengths which WaterGems has automatically calculated on the basis of the length of the element. And here in the last column you can see the user defined length which we have just input in the individually in all the pipes. So the rest of the pipes P2, P3, P4, P5, P6 they are not user defined, so we can give any length to them according to the scale. So we will keep it as it is. Now let us revise the diameter. So diameter of pipe 1 is 1000 and diameter of all the other pipes is 150. It's given. And the material of all the pipes are ductile iron except pipe number 4, which is, so in order to change the pipe, what we do is click on this ellipsis and go to material library. So many types of material properties are available are already stored in WaterGems. So we will select PVC, as this is a PVC pipe, so we will select, and automatically WaterGems will input all this, assign all this, the properties of PVC to this particular pipe. And pipe number 7 is also PVC. Similarly you can select any other material according to your availability. So this is how the pipe input data is input. So this is, so now we have assigned properties to all the elements. Now we will run the analysis. For that, first go to this particular tab, which is, you can see here, calculations options. Go to this and check whether the time analysis type is steady state. As we are doing the time steady state calculation, so we have to select it to steady state. So this is already steady state. Now we can run the program. For this, click on this compute, this green arrow you can see, compute, and it will give the results. So this is the results information which you will get after the completion of your water analysis, the WaterGems analysis. So here you can see we have got 2 notifications. So green, these are shown in green. So green means there is no error or warning in your particular layout. If it is blue, then there is some information which WaterGems is providing to you. If it is yellow, then there is some warning, and if it is red, then there is some error or some other issue with your model, so we will have to change that. So it is showing green here because whatever values we have provided are fulfilling the requirement of our network. For example, so these values you can see here is relative flow change, flow supplied, flow demanded, flow stored. These are all calculated by WaterGems. So look at this first case. So flow supplied is 1464, that is the flow which is being supplied by this network is 1464 liter per minute, and the demand was 847 liter per minute. So this demand we have also assigned when we assigned it to the different junctions, and right, so you can see that as this demand is less and supply is more, okay, hence our water's needs are being met, so our supply network is fine. And the rest of the water, which is the balance, that is 1464 minus 847, which is 1617 liter per minute, will be stored in some storage tank or any other mode. So this is how the WaterGems calculations are interpreted. Now for understanding purpose, what you can do is you can change the demands at different any of the junctions and then rerun your program and see whether that is optimum or not. Okay, now or you can also change the diameter of your pipe, or you can change the property of any property of your PRV or pump, and then you can look at the changes that how your water distribution network is working. So this is the completion of lesson number 1, which is the steady state analysis.